We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Dan, did you want to do the prayer?
Sure. Everyone would bow their heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the beautiful spring weather that you're giving us, the change of seasons that we get to enjoy. We pray that you watch over the activities of tonight's meeting, that they can be pleasing to you, and that they support the needs of our citizens within our town. In your name we pray. Amen.
Okay, reading and approval of the minutes of the March 15th meeting.
Motion to approve and suspend reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Motion carried. Approval of the agenda. There's any additions or?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We're going to go on to the engineer's report.
Jared called. He'll be late. He'll be closer to 5:30, so he said if we can just move him down the agenda.
Okay, we can do that. We're going to go on to the request of citizens. Chamber sculpture proposal.
May I come over here?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, it's CVB. It's Convention Visitors Bureau. So sorry about that. Which is an umbrella of our Chamber of Commerce. So, what we have thought of since becoming director for the last 3 years, I have a vision, and as you guys know, I'm a go-getter. We just had a class last week or 2 weeks ago, was it? I can't remember. In this room on branding and local logos. And so one of the things that the CVB board, and Buster is on my board, is something that entices people to come and see something, whether it's Susie the cow or the Holstein cow to Wally the walleye. So it would be kind of nice to have something that brings heritage and culture. And so I've been working with Lund Blacksmith, and I'll pass this little guy around, but this is what he came up with for the sculpture. And just so you know, if this were to pass or be voted on or whatnot, it would be more of a golden color, and the mark would be deeper, and there's going to be like a ketchup bottle and a pickle chip with the head where you can take a picture. It'd be a great photo op for tourists and visitors coming. There's so many people that don't know what a Fleischkittler is, and Mercer County is very much known for that heritage and that cuisine. And even though it is made in Beulah, it's okay because we're still bringing people to our county, and that's the whole mission and vision of a Convention Visitors Bureau. I'm applying as we speak for a grant for this. The estimated cost that Kerwin gave me was like $5,000 to $6,000. Pretty workable for our Convention Visitors Bureau. As you guys know, we do have hospitality. I know, right? We giggle at it all the time. It's just a funny thing. But so that money could, it's not like it's going to cost the city anything but in kind. Like if we put it somewhere where the grass needs to be mowed. My first with this that I made for you guys was supposed to go at, I thought maybe the heritage part, but Mrs. Donovan came in today and they have an idea to have musical installation of outdoor musical instruments that they're working on, which are actually kind of a neat project that they want to get for themselves in that empty area, which pushes Frida the Fleischkittler out of there, which now I come to you. Where should we put it? If this is something that my board, I know Buster, we've talked about it, we haven't really, I think they know that we can get this done, and it would be great to get it done by July. It would only take Kerwin a week to do it, and he literally folds it, and he has people from Fargo and wherever that want to come and help with this because they think it's such a unique idea. He called one day and said, do you want the pinch marks? And I said, pinch marks? I had literally had to look at what a flesh kit looked, what it looked like to look what the pinch marks were. And then he put the fork marks in. And then when he went to the hardware store to get the paint, so he's keeping it local, which is part of the chamber, yay. The paint would be more of a golden, but they all were giggling, like, you're making what? So my vision is to have an attraction that brands Hazen, and it could be a road trip. With COVID last year, my family, first time we ever took the Enchanted Highway was last year, and we were born and raised here. Now, wouldn't that be kind of a nice trip to go down that way, come up through Sue, what is her name, the Holstein cow? Yes, come up this way, maybe stop in and actually have a Fleischkietler at Bee's Cafe or one of our convenience stores. Maybe check out the drugstore or Groundation Coffee, just something that brings people to our area. Go out and take the highway up to Garrison to Wally the Walleye. It's just something that I think would be really great. And as far as my board, Buster, do you have any comments?
No, not after you. Yeah, it'll be a matter of trying to figure out where we want to put it.
Yeah.
No. That Heritage was a lock, but I guess that tells you.
How big is it?
Oh, yes, sorry. He's going to be 12, or she, we haven't decided, 12 by 6. 12 feet by 6.
So 12 feet wide, 6 feet.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the spot we thought was maybe beside the waterworks in that grassy field. But I know it would be a nice attraction to have on the highway. But then we got the community orchard, and then you have your dog park. And like someone said, who wants to be getting pictures taken and then smelling dog poo-poo? And, it's just, I don't know. I don't have an idea now, because my idea was the Heritage Park. But I could see it over here in that corner lot. But that's prime location
I
for
don't know
business.
The green area in Pioneer.
Well, there's still city property
And
east of Pioneer.
East of there, there's that city property, east of there.
So if we used to put it downtown, or how are we gonna,
Yeah.
if we're attracting people, if we're gonna put a billboard out, are you
Yeah, see,
gonna, there's more money right there.
yeah.
Well, I guess,
Mhm.
the commerce area there, maybe, in that green area, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was thinking on that east side or west side of town somewhere too.
Yeah. So, like I said, it would only take him a week to make. It's now the fact of finding a suitable home, and it would be nice to have like a name contest. The grant I'm applying for is through AARP, and they would even have like benches. I'd throw in benches as long as we have their advertising on there. And what else was there? Like a ribbon cutting, which I think would be fabulous during Harvest Fest with our Fleischkietler feed. It could be a place where you can actually host a Fleischkietler feed. Future ideas, a lot of people would really prefer metal bison. That could be down the road, and he could maybe be placed at John Moses Park. And economy, will it draw visitors? We do not know, but I would love to create marketing where it's t-shirts or these little guys. Now, can I tell you, Kerwin did say that somebody is going to want this for, I know this sounds morbid, gravestones, because the little old ladies way back in the day, this is what they made. And so this would be like a little, vase or something. So he might even get some marketing done with this, but it'd be kind of neat to, I don't know, I have a vision for like a little tourism type of shop, or I don't know, food for thought, literally. And we'll just have to find a location. If you guys have any ideas, any recommendations, if you think it's someone called it a cheesy idea, but we need something that draws people here and not just the lake and not just industry.
And it does sound a little cheesy, but I think that's something that will also, people will go, hey, let's go look at this Fleischkügel that they set up somewhere, so, yeah.
If I could add my 2 cents, if I have 2 cents, it would be nice to put it in a location where we typically do the Fleischkügel frying. And to me, that would be out at the Hazen Sports area, because you got the, typically we do the Fall Fest thing there, the cook-off, Chamber does theirs. We got the summer event coming. There's gonna be a Fleischkügel feed, I'm sure, with that, and then you would have people, probably really, especially if they have to come in, if that's where they're coming to pick up their Fleischkügel. They bring their families and kids can try to take their pictures, whatever.
You'd have to look to see if there is a location that's accessible to people,
Right.
because you're gonna want to, if you want your picture taken with it, it's gonna have to be.
Yeah, plenty of parking
that's
there.
kinda-
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you'll have to
yeah,
look to see.
I know that the farmer's market uses some of that area, but you'd have to, you could, the thing about it is that there'd be enough area there. You talk to Dan, I'm sure, or,
School owns the
and
land.
is it the
Yeah.
school that
Yeah,
has
the
that,
school
that
owns the
land?
yeah.
The other thing I mentioned, a sign, if it's not right next to the road.
Yeah.
That would be down the road for maybe a good Eagle Scout project or marketing contest through CBB
Mm-hmm.
for local people,
I've checked with Germans from Russia in North Dakota, and they thought this was a splendid idea. And also with North Dakota Council of Arts, they have specialty grants as well. So I will do my best and get those grants filled out, but I just wanted the city's blessing, and of course, we would have to, I guess, talk it over again with our board of directors, and Dan Fry is our president for CBB, and lucky him, he's also Hazen Park and Rec, so we'll do a little schmoozing if we have to.
I think that'd be the best spot.
Yeah.
Now that you say that,
That'd be
Buster.
good fun.
Well, it's
Somewhere in that,
plus it's easy off Highway 200.
yeah, yep.
Easy.
I mean, can you
If
imagine?
you want to pull in, it's
Yeah.
right there. It should be,
You're driving by
And
and you
it's
see
wide
this
open.
big thing,
so you can see it from the highway. That'd be the other thing.
Fleischkügel.
Just wait.
And you plan on, your vision is laying him or her down like that? Or are you gonna stand him or
He's
her
gonna
up?
stand up like this. My other vision was to have steps, but he had a great idea. He said, no, if it's city land, you don't want to have any issues with insurance and whatnot. So
Liability.
that's why we're doing the pickle and the ketchup, which he's not here to be on the ground. This, I think, this was just to lay it on. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna go in. But his estimate was 5,000 to 6,000. Nothing to the city except for, mowing, but if it's park land, yeah, we can.
So it's not something we need to vote on, we just,
I just wanted
yeah,
to,
just our approval, say,
Yeah.
I think we're good with it.
And come up with a couple locations.
Yeah,
what,
Come up with a couple locations.
right, and that helps, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's all about branding Hazen. Yes, we're the Hazen Pies, and that is something we can work in the future, but. Yeah. Any comments, questions? I know it's kind of goofy, but,
Tell them it's a buffalo Fleischkügel.
a what?
Tell them it's a buffalo Fleischkügel.
A bison, yes, a bison. So, okay, well, would you like her to stay here or no? Okay.
So can I just go back to engineers report now? Okay. Jared, we're ready for you.
Okay, sorry, Wayne.
Not a problem.
So, the only reason, or only real thing I have for you guys tonight is just, final approval of plans. We talked about it, we've got a couple design meetings, tried to keep everybody in the loop as much as possible. These are the signed copies, they get sent to the health department, they're the overseeing agency. They may have comments, they may not, they don't have them yet. But they want the engineer to sign them, so I have to sign them today and then give them to you for approval and then send them. And then we're gonna advertise for bids for 3 weeks as per state law. The plan is to ask for approval of plans tonight. We'll bid the project the week before your next council, not next one, but the May council meeting. So I'll be at the first meeting in May with the bids in hand, and we'll consider what to do with that plan. So at a high level, we have base bid and alternates. First alternate is doing a cast-in-place concrete tank versus a pre-stressed concrete tank. We talked a little bit about the different styles. Once I see the bidders list, if we might have to issue an addenda to explain how we're going to issue or how we're going to award a bid. I don't know if that's going to be an issue yet or not. There's a little bit better style of one and a little lesser style of one, and we want to have the options to award a more expensive project if we think it's worth it. That'd be your guys' decision, but we'll have an opinion on that as well. But I want to see the plan holder list first before we clarify that. And that's just something that's out there. Another bid alternate that we have is, I think I explained there'll be a section of water main that I think if we get good value, we'll want to add. It's not necessary for the project, but kind of a secondary benefit to get rid of a loop in town. Third alternate we're going to bid is getting rid of the ground storage reservoir here behind the water treatment plant, basically sawing it off, cutting it off below ground, plugging the outlets and inlets, and then filling it with dirt. So just make it a parking area back there. Again, didn't cost us anything to add it. We'll open bids. If you guys think that it's worth it and want to do it, we'll award it, but we'll have bids on that. I'm going to ask for approval tonight because we did ship it to the newspaper. It's going to come out pretty dang quick here. And then again, bid for 3 weeks, and we'll have bids in May. I need a motion approving the plans and authorizing us to advertise for bids.
Okay.
This is, and just to clarify, this is on 2 different options of water tower.
Yes, so if all goes well, we'll get bids for a pre-stressed concrete tank, and we'll get bids for a pre-cast concrete tank.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what the bids come in, but we're going to advertise for both. And then I'll have a handy little score sheet at the end, shows us what the bids are and what the whole project will cost compared to our estimate. And all goes well, we'll award in May, but I won't know that until we advertise. At that point, we'll find out if there's... Sorry, go ahead, Dan. At that point, we'll find out, there could be multiple contracts. There could be one contractor that does everything. As per state law, we would have to allow some components to be bid. We could end up with 2 general contractors or even 3 general contractors, depending on how the bids come in, but I wouldn't worry about that. We'll worry about that when we open bids.
Right.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we take this final design here and that we provide authorization to move forward for seeking out bids.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor
Second.
and a second. Is there any more discussion?
So I guess, whatever funds that, like we don't get from the state, is that gonna be, a special assessment then? Or?
I've been talking with Monty about this. We've got 3 legs to the stool. We've got the prairie dog money, we've got the State Water Commission money, and then there's the gap. And we're still hoping more of this infrastructure money or prairie dog money comes in. We don't know for sure, but with that gap, you're either gonna have to fund it yourself through your reserves or with a loan, and we don't know that yet. I'm not sure. You guys haven't decided if you're gonna borrow it or just borrow from yourself to pay for it.
Okay.
But I don't anticipate any specials.
Okay, so there's not gonna be, I guess, like a district that we have to set up first or anything?
No.
Okay, so it's gonna be a small enough amount of money that I guess, would we be able to pay for it out of our own?
That's what I believe. Right?
Yeah, we would be able to use sales tax dollars.
Okay.
We're looking at anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000. Depending on, because now with the American Rescue Plan, there's more funding coming from the federal that's not earmarked for anything specific. So when that comes in, we can use that for this then as well. So.
I don't think we're anticipating any rate raises or any specials or anything. But we just gotta close or cross our fingers and see how the bids come in.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Hiller,
Hi.
Hack,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried.
Miscellaneous stuff, not that much. Legislature's still meeting. I try to attach stuff or send it up when, I get a weekly email that, talking about all these bills and what money's here and what money's there. Oil prices have gone up and that seems to be making everybody happier and seems to be more money in these programs. They're starting to, if you remember 6 months ago, they were asking cities, who wants to turn back their money? And now it seems like they've got excess money. So I think that's good. I don't have any real updates as far as specific bills go because I watch this stuff and they're appropriating money for different things. You can ask me questions if you want, but I don't know if I'll be able to answer them. I'll just keep sending up the reports that we get. Really, the last thing I have is that we have a bid and a contract with Bowers to come and insulate those water service lines, and they were going to let me know tomorrow what their schedule was. We're very early spring, so I don't know what their overall workload is, but I would expect that they'll be coming to Hazen in the next month or two. And if you remember, what we approved is they're gonna dig a trench, they're gonna dig down, and they're gonna insulate those 5 or 6 areas, and then they're gonna leave them as gravel. So we still have to figure out, what or when, to patch them at some point. We have somebody in the area, or piggyback that on something else, possibly with the Expedition Estates corrective work, whenever that happens. But just want to know that's coming. I don't know if we need to visit with those folks still or not, or if that's been resolved, but we probably better get that rolling if that's going to happen, though.
And that has not been resolved. We need to set up a time to meet with those specific people.
And who's meeting with them?
And who's meeting with them.
Monty, do we want to define that as, we talked about possibly doing specials up there, equating it somewhat to, how we've done street modifications throughout town. Sometimes we haven't had the best work done in particular areas, but it still ends up going down the path of specials. Do we have to define then a district up there?
Well, I don't think we've even defined how it's going to be paid for yet. And that's what we wanted to talk to the people that are involved, whether it's the city's responsibility or if it's their responsibility or how it's going to be paid for. And I think that's part of the reason we want to visit with these people. We just need to set up a time.
I understand.
I guess I'll defer to Pat on that one. Would we have to create a district if it's
Still have
going to
that same
be?
question, even as we prepare to have that conversation, because that would be something that we would have to have in our tool bag for part of that conversation with those citizens. Possibly.
Well, if you go the special assessment district route, it's premature. Yeah. Because if they decide to pay for them all voluntarily, even if it's over time, whatever, there's no need to go through that extra expense of going through all the steps required to set up a special assessment.
So can we just set a date in like 2 weeks and request, because if you're gonna try and get 6 couples together and give them an option, we're probably gonna have a tough time catching.
We'll have to just pick a date.
I think we should just
contact
pick a
them.
date and say, this is when we're going to have this meeting. We'd like you to be there
So if you,
and,
if you remember, there's kind of 2 costs here too. You know, there's a insulate the water service and then
Yep.
maybe patch the road.
Yep.
What if they tell me they're coming in a week? then-
Right.
Then we'll probably be, needing to have this meeting pretty damn quick here.
yeah,
Well, that or it'd just be something that we would have to absorb the cost now and then determine how it's being paid.
Okay.
Correct.
If all of a sudden they say, we're coming tomorrow,
As long as you want the work done, we know you want the work done. It's just a matter of, I think it was like $15,000, right? I think it wasn't that.
18, I think. was the
18?
total.
Yeah. it wasn't,
Yeah, it wasn't.
So it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
But I guarantee there'll be that much in patching too. So if you want to split it or figure out how to do it, there will be another bill come. I'm just thinking out loud here. So,
Yeah.
But if we are gonna have, I guess, a special, I would think that there should be something, I guess, I guess a period of time that these then people can say, no, I want, or else yes, I want, but if we're gonna do the work now, I guess.
with the water or sewer improvement, you don't have to give them the option, right, Pat? Right. The city can just do it. If this were just like a luxury, like a walking trail or something, then yes, we have to do that. But you guys can do this.
and I don't know that you're gonna find any one of them who doesn't want it done, rather than trickling water.
Even if they gotta pay for it though?
I think even if they have to pay for it, you're probably gonna get a majority of them to say, well, let's do it. Because you're talking, you're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I believe that if they don't have that nuisance of having to remember to trickle water or possibility of freezing, I don't know that you're gonna find anybody that doesn't
No.
want it done.
But I think some of them, even with trickling the water, have had issues, it's really
Yeah.
been a super freeze and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, and this year it was
I agree,
not,
eliminate that headache.
so.
You could say, we're doing this. How do you want to be billed for it?
There you go.
I mean, it's not fun, but you have that right.
Right. But like I said, I think we should just pick a date. And even if we do it now and say, this is when we're having a meeting, have letters sent out. I'm sure they will definitely make a point of at least one of them, of the couples coming. One person of each couple coming. What is today,
Meeting, we're on the 7th, you meet again on the 19th. Did you want to try and do it before then? You'd have
Yeah.
to do it next week one day.
Is that something you want to do it next week? Instead of,
That's up to you guys.
I know sooner the better, let's see.
I would say like next week, Tuesday or Thursday would be a good,
I've got a meeting on Thursday, Tuesday might be the better for me. We got the City Board of Equalization next Tuesday. Do we want
You do it right after
to
that.
do it,
exactly, that would be a good idea.
maybe do it at 5 o'clock and then we've got our equalization meeting at 6?
Whichever.
Or have the people from up at Bluegrass come in after the equalization? I don't know. It shouldn't be a long
It
meeting.
would be at 7:30.
Well, you'd be at 6:30.
Yeah,
Yeah, that equalization means
Yeah, we only sent out 10 notices, so.
Tell you what, I'll tell the contractor I want them to hold off, just in case. How about that? And if they were planning to come tomorrow, I'll see if I can get them to just delay. It feels wrong to have their street dug up and then be talking to them.
And then tell them, yeah.
so what time, do you guys, on Tuesday if we meet, what time do you want to meet? 5 o'clock?
Are you meeting as a full board then?
Later on will work.
Maybe you do want to do it afterwards.
Okay.
If you got work.
So like 6:30 would work?
Opportunity.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're gonna be able to get a hold of them or
Yeah.
somehow contact, it's only 5 or 6 couples?
Board, maybe.
Yeah.
And have them a letter.
Okay,
Are you gonna need full board for that or not necessarily, or? I mean, it worked for
That's up to
me.
you guys. I mean, you can do it as a full board. We'll give notice that there's a special meeting after the equalization.
I think then, if you're giving notice, we should probably all be here.
yeah, I would just do a full board, whoever wants to
Okay.
come can
So
definitely.
6:30?
And you'll make sure that Jerry, well, he'll be here then, but make sure Jerry knows too. Okay, so we'll be
Okay.
meeting on Tuesday at
Okay.
6:30
I
with
will,
these people.
I don't know if we're going to attend. Probably
That's
will
fine.
call in if you need me to. But I'll just tell Bowers tomorrow, we want to wait the week. If they were planning to come. I don't even know if they were, but
Right.
that's fine.
That'll work.
All right. That's all I have, unless somebody has anything else for me. I'll stick around for a little while in case something comes up.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we're gonna move on to 6B, fireworks sales permit.
Memory fireworks. Using the winter sports arena, which has been used by Memory for the last several years. And as I said in the notes, if you wanted to approve it conditionally upon Corey getting over to inspect it, he hasn't been able to yet.
Okay,
I would
Move to approve.
Yeah.
a conditional with Corey checking out,
Yeah,
okay?
inspection.
We have a motion on the floor
Second.
and a second by Justin. Any discussion? We're assuming it's gonna rain before then, so we can sell fireworks.
Yeah. Yep.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Stern,
Aye.
Hack,
Hey,
Keller,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. The next one, we have a local permit raffle from the Hazen softball boosters.
The new
Make a
organization.
motion to approve the permit for the Hazen softball boosters.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If none, roll call.
Keller,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Hack,
aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, down to 8A, commercial building permit remodel J.F. Hair.
They're just doing the interior remodeling plus the drive-up window for the salon and the Groundation Coffee. This comes to you because it is in the commercial zoning district.
Move to approve the building permit.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Monty, is that,
Is the only modification just windows and stuff, or are they doing anything with bathrooms and drains or anything like that?
There'll be a little bit of interior. They've got their stations. They are moving the one bathroom and remodeling it so it's ADA accessible. Otherwise, they removed one wall and moved one back. Otherwise, it's windows and aesthetics, basically interior.
Okay.
Okay, any more discussion? Roll call.
Stern,
Aye.
Hack,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. And on to B is a commercial building permit, patio enclosure for the Bison Sports Bar.
There really isn't a lot of construction. They're just going to utilize this pad on the north end as a patio, similar to what DeAndrea's was doing, just having panels around it to basically section it off so that they can control the environment a little bit as far as their serving and stuff.
Are they gonna do like windbreak, Monty, or are they just to do the open
He's
tent?
just doing 6-foot black iron panels, so it's just more or less a
Right.
fence.
Gotcha.
And it's coming to us because it's a commercial building permit, correct?
That is correct.
Motion approved.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I guess I'd be a little more comfortable with like the closed up where you can't
Reach
drink
through.
out. But, I don't know. I don't think a lot of that would happen, but
Good point.
But it'd be just like what we had at Hot Stuff, right?
Yeah, very similar, just bigger panels, taller
Yeah.
panels.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of providing any kind of barrier,
Yeah.
stuff, conserve beer and stuff, so.
Yes.
yeah.
And you can put conditions on it if you want.
There is a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Hack,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. Next, we have the condemnation hearing notice for Langford.
And the notice was served on Mr. Langford via the sheriff's office on March 2nd. There has been little to no activity up there as far as addressing the issues. These I took yesterday.
Is this not his second time we've notified him? Didn't
He
we?
was never served initially. That's why we had the sheriff serve him.
I mean, like a year ago, didn't we discuss this? And,
We discussed it, but that was with his building
Yeah.
permit.
okay,
He hadn't followed through on the building permit. So now, I would like to set the hearing for the 19th for him to appear and explain why he hasn't taken action, and you can then take action to, or set a date to, that it's out of there, or we take it out.
Do you need a motion for that,
Yes,
Monty?
please.
So we'll move to have the condemnation hearing on the 19th, our next regular meeting.
Second.
we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any more discussion? If not, roll call.
Hack,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, next we have building permit, commercial zoning for Kirkenberg, Keith Kirkenberg.
And again, this is only coming to you because it is in a commercially zoned district. He wants to put the garden shed on the pad that is currently at his address. The house is here. There's a pad south of the house. You can see it in this picture better. Depending on what you call the front and the rear, he's having the opening on the building facing west, he said. So that would make this the rear, and he's required to have a 10-foot rear easement. Right now, the pad is only 8.5 feet from the property line. So if he
So
proceeds,
he's looking for the variance because the pad's pre-existing.
correct.
Where's this at, Monty?
This would be
Exactly. I don't-
right south of Main. Here's Main Street right here and 3rd Avenue when you're coming down from the hub.
Yeah.
It's, here's Main Street, I'm sorry. Ruth
Okay.
Stevens' house is on the corner, and then they're right across the alley from her.
There was a home there at one time that I guess they burned down, is that
Way back when
the one? Yeah.
there was a structure in front of this pad.
Okay.
That was always a garage type or storage type.
What are the wishes of the board?
Move to approve with the, I guess, variance.
There is a motion on the floor
I'll second that.
and a second. Any more discussion?
What is it that makes this commercial?
It's zone commercial.
Okay.
That whole block is zone commercial yet going toward the east and toward Main Street.
Roll call.
Stern,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Hack,
I,
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, we have reports. Water, sewer.
We went ahead and had some conversation with our engineering folks with regard to some of our businesses in town on how they drain off their sewage and some of their other waste and stuff maybe associated with cooking. And so we're in communicating with our engineering folks, we're now reaching out to a number of those businesses to make sure that we're actually operating up to snuff on that, because we're running into issues with having to take the suck truck out and clean out manways because of large amounts of grease and waste and stuff coming in. And we did find that we had some shortcomings. We've issued some letters out. We've received responses back that basically said it would have been nice to have addressed this earlier, but we understand and we'll take care of it. So we're going to continue to have these kind of conversations with some of the other businesses to make sure that we've got a uniform understanding. And as we move forward with Senex and their project over there, we'll make sure that we're specifically addressing those type of needs. Any questions on that?
hey Dan, Jason here. Have we had a lot of issues or just one or two?
Well, if you recall, we had the original issue coming off of the car wash over at Senex.
Right?
And more recently, after the conversion over at the hub, we've been having ongoing issues there to where they're out there every couple of weeks. And the major concern there that we've dodged throughout this last winter is possibly having to pull a suck truck out there and trying to do something when it's 20, 30 below zero. So we're trying to head that type of situation off.
Gotcha.
Anything else, Dan?
Nope, that's all I have.
Okay. Street?
The only thing I really got is I think for crack sealing and stuff, Dave, I think
We're done this week.
yeah, I was gonna
We're
say.
doing parking lots now, all the streets are done, so we're just playing with some of the parking lots. And that house is gone over on 4th filled in the basement today. Might let it settle a little bit before we actually put the black dirt on or whatever, but we'll be cleaning up now all the debris that's laying around and
Did that process work pretty good with watering the siding down and all that?
yeah, that all went well.
Unless you got something else, Dave, that's all I really.
Okay. Finance, busing,
Anything this time?
okay. I have nothing under police. HCD,
You saw the building permit for JF Hair, of course, moving to the new location. We have had that, their spot over in the Commerce Center advertised for rent for a number of weeks now. Have had one inquiry, but I'm not exactly, it was just kind of a soft inquiry, let's put it that way. So we're still looking for a tenant, for that place, which it's about 1,350 square feet, so it's a nice facility. Of course, it would take the right kind of tenant to have an interest in it, because it does have washer dryer hookup in there, and it has water in there, in the salon and whatever. So it has a few more amenities than some of the other places might have. But, so if you hear of something, send it my way, definitely. Been attending some coal meetings. That's been a pretty hot issue. I think everybody was glad to hear about certainly looks like that we're going to have somebody take over GRE, jump in over there and help things out. So we're going to continue to monitor, some of that stuff. Not sure what is totally going to end up coming out of the legislative body relative to coal, but right now there's some bills there that are really pretty very favorable in terms of helping off some of the coal industry. I guess I'd answer questions if there are any.
any questions for Custer? If not, we will move on to 10A, the Hazen Public Library 2020 Annual Report.
Everybody got a copy of it in their basket, I guess, if there were any questions. Just kind of go ahead and contact Antoinette, or not Antoinette, Sienna.
Okay.
The flesh keep on.
Okay, new business, Pace Sewer Maintenance Agreement.
Annual agreement with Pace. Again, no changes in their costs as far as their per foot costs for televising. And I know Ryan has been working on a list of services to be televised. So once we have the agreement in place, he will work with them some more to schedule that when they're around, so we can save hopefully a little bit on their mobilization.
So we need to
When
move.
we've approved this in the past, Monty, did we put any kind of cap on it?
No, we have not in the past.
Is there a need to?
Unless something pops up all of a sudden, I think Ryan and Mike and Dave have got it pretty well figured out where they need to be. Over the years, we've had a lot of the lines already televised, so.
Okay. So we have that as a line item in the budget, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't have the number off the top of my head what we budgeted, but.
That's all right, not a problem. I'll make a motion that we go ahead and re-up our contract with Pace for the televisation of our sewer lines, water lines.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? If not, roll call.
Pillar,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Hack,
I,
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. And then we have next we have the copier replacement contract.
The lease on our copier right now is nearly done. It was a 5-year lease. Met with people from Marco. They're on the state contract. They can put a new copier in at a cost savings of a little over $100 a month. We would move the copier we currently have up to the police department, similar as we did the last time we renewed. And the only thing different from what he had proposed here, I did talk to him about a 4th tray that we could just load the utility bills in and leave in there, and Tammy would be the only one that would be able to access that tray through security, so that she wouldn't have to. We spend $300 a year just on toner for the printer to run the utility bills, and all the toners are included in this contract, and we can still save money. So it's kind of seemed like not a bad idea.
What happens to the copy machine that's currently at the police station?
They will take it back and recycle it.
We get any kind of credit for that one, or?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
make a motion that,
No brainer.
make a motion that we enter into the, copier replacement contract as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
So then on the one that we have now currently,
Yeah.
that's on a 5-year, I guess, lease.
And now it'll be included with this.
Oh, it's included.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all included in
Okay.
this new pricing.
Okay.
And that'll be another 5 years?
Monty, does the
Yes.
one that's going to the police station basically become city property? It was a kind of a lease to own?
No, they're all under, they're all under the technology programs where it's 5 years and they take them back and replace them. We didn't do anything with an outright purchase of these at the end of the term.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call.
Hack,
I,
Stern,
Aye.
Pillar,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. Next, we have the burn ban city requirements.
And you're all aware the county adopted the stage 2 burn ban. An exemption to this burn ban is all land within the city boundary is exempt. So realistically, we have no burn ban in the city. Do we want one? And if we do, what kind of things do we want to control?
Well, and it's my understanding that we can just adopt theirs,
We can just
basically.
also do a stage 2 burn ban, which basically you don't burn anything.
Right.
would that, if we was to adopt that, we obviously then couldn't burn our pile out there, correct?
Correct.
I've been out there lately.
Yeah, we wouldn't burn it down.
I was gonna
It would
say, I
just
don't-
dry.
Well, I know, and that's
And
what
it
I'm
is
just-
growing.
What's that?
It is growing. The bunch.
Right.
Amazing how them dead trees grow.
I think we need to do something, because I have been questioned if they can have fire pits burning within the city, and I just don't think that we should be allowing that. I've told them that we can't because of the burn ban, but we don't have one.
And then would that fall under grills and grilling?
No.
No, because
Is not-
charcoal grills are different.
Yeah.
Gas grill would,
If I recall from the county, I think that basically the two things are, the two ways you can burn is if it's something that can be shut off, or if it's something you have written for whatever permission for from.
A permit.
Those are your two allowed.
Right.
And then can we adopt, if we do adopt this, to mirror how it fluctuates with Mercer County burn ban? Can we do that, Monty? Or would we
Yeah, I
have
think
to?
you'd be better off just adopting it and then when it's no longer needed, make the change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll no longer be needed someday.
But I don't know, I think, as we all know, we are definitely dry. And we're not getting wetter anytime soon.
So that ban would cover charcoal grills? That's
Yeah.
Yes, because here it says exempt are persons using a device fueled solely by liquid petroleum or LPG fuels that can be turned on and off.
Well, charcoal grill, you can't turn on and off.
I can't.
No.
No, but I said,
Yes, I can.
Oh, you have a charcoal grill that turns on and off?
Yeah, wondered.
I got a big green egg, yeah, that's got dampers, a chimney.
I like
And
it.
it's a really expensive grill to be
Right.
used that if I could
Yeah.
use that grill.
It doesn't say that specifically.
no.
A Traeger, same thing.
Traeger, yeah,
Yeah,
I would say anything that has, like it says, on off, you can control that by on off. That's what I mean, I still have a conventional, LP gas grill, but
Yeah, mine's all enclosed, everything with the burner.
because it doesn't specifically mention
No, it doesn't, yeah.
other than campfires. And I guess a charcoal grill does not emit sparks, usually. Yeah.
and that's the other thing. If it's pretty vague, Pat, I don't know if you can answer, it's pretty vague. If we have charcoal burners in town, who's gonna go out and police that?
Exactly. I think if you put a burn ban on, a general one, a lot of people are gonna go, okay, maybe I can't do this, or maybe,
Or if they have questions,
Yeah.
if they would be smart, they would just call the city office.
right. We need to do something.
We want to go ahead and just adopt what the county has here with the exception of the number 6 exemption where it says all land within city boundary is exempted.
Yeah,
Wasn't there something in here who enforced it as well?
Well, the county one is enforced by law enforcement, is my understanding.
Correct.
So it would be the
I
same.
don't know if we have to say, we'll engage in the county's restrictions are with the exception of the boundary of the city, and that it would be enforced by local law enforcement.
Well, basically, I can just draft it using the same verbiage and instead of the county using the city of Hazen, and then as far as the exemptions, just take out number 6.
yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Monty, what is number 7?
That probably makes sense. I think people took for granted that when there was a burn ban that it applied to the city too, so.
Right, well, they were operating acetylene or
Or a torch with an open flame with extinguishment capabilities immediately accessible. So you can weld out there if you need to, but you have to have something, an extinguisher or.
Yeah.
So what are the wishes of the board?
I would make a motion for Monty to rearrange the language of the county's stage 2 restrictions to apply to that of the city.
I have a motion on the floor.
Do we want to look at that before if we vote on this and then vote on the final? Or are we just voting and it's done? If the verbiage ain't quite how we want it is what I'm getting at.
So are you suggesting then that Monty puts together the language and then at our next scheduled meeting, we review it?
That's kind of where I'm going,
That's 2 weeks from now.
Just about.
right? But how long has the stage 2 burn ban been on?
17th.
I don't have a problem doing it, but if the verbiage ain't quite how we want it, we're locked into that. That's what I'm getting at.
Until the
Well,
next meeting.
what we talked about was if you take a look at the language the way it is now and you exclude number 6 in the exemption, then there's really no other modifications.
I get that, Dan. I just want to make sure it's crystal clear is what I'm getting at. It's a binding document, but yeah, I'm fine with it.
I do have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
There is a second. Is there any other discussion?
Big thing is I don't want to have anybody hogtied to, for example, and it states at our welding facility in town. I don't want to jeopardize any business. I want to.
No, I wouldn't either, but that is covered under here.
Right, I know. I'm. What's that, Dan?
And clearly it would just be mirroring the county from the standpoint as long as that's in effect, it would be in effect when that's lifted, ours is lifted.
Or whenever you want to lift it or amend it.
Yeah, ours would not be lifted as soon as theirs. We'd have to vote on lifting our ban.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Hiller,
Aye.
Hack,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, the last thing on the agenda is approval of bills.
Move to approve the bills.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, roll call.
Stern,
Aye.
Hack,
Aye.
Hiller,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye, motion carried. This meeting is adjourned.
See you.